afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started. Call this meeting to order. This is our regularly scheduled board meeting. Good afternoon. Great to see everybody. It is Tuesday, September 10th, 2024, 5:02 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order. As we do at every board meeting, we'll read our board norms and protocols. We agree to respect differences of opinions in making decisions for the district. And before I continue, we do have language support with us today. If you need an interpreter in a different language other than English, we do have interpreters available. Please raise your hand or let a staff person know, and we'll make sure to get an interpreter. Sí tenemos intérpretes en esta tarde. Si usted necesita intérprete para algún idioma además de inglés, puede levantar la mano y tenemos intérpretes disponibles para ayudarles hoy. Thank you, and I apologize for not starting with that. So again, we'll read our board norms and protocols. We agree to respect differences of opinions in making decisions for the district, to follow best practices in managing the superintendent and the management of the board itself, to stay on task when conducting business for the district, including while at board meetings, to never surprise the superintendent or each other when conducting official business of the district, read these norms at the beginning of each board meeting and at board workshops as a reminder of how to conduct our meetings, to continually self-check to determine if we're following our norms when conducting district business. Again, good afternoon. Welcome, board colleagues, Dr. Stubblefield, to all of our staff, welcome. And to any guests that are with us, both in person or online, welcome. Glad to have you here with us today. So with that, we will jump right into our agenda. And first, Ms. Smith, please do a roll call.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, present.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, present.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, present.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Robert Mylan Jr. present.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, present.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, present.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, present.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve tonight's regular agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Robert Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll jump right into our agenda. And board, may I have a motion that the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education open the public hearing to exceed revenue neutral rate for 2024-2025 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there discussion or questions? Seeing and hearing none, Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Robert Mylan Jr., no.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are now in the public hearing portion of our revenue neutral conversation. Just a reminder for our guests and visitors, anyone is welcome to give a comment this afternoon. Please just approach the podium. Each person will have 3 minutes to give their comments. Your time will start after you begin speaking. We also would need for you to sign our sign-up sheet after you speak. I believe the sign-up sheets are on the blue table. Next to Dr. Lori, who's sitting here in the front in the red t-shirt. So if you could just please make sure that you sign in so we have a record of who spoke during the public hearing today. Again, you will have 3 minutes to speak, and anyone is welcome to give comment whether you signed up or not. That does not matter during the public comment portion. So if you did not sign up, that's not a problem at all. So with that, I will invite, if there's anyone in the public who's here to speak regarding revenue neutral, please come forward.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I know there's a lot of people, the seniors and the poor and the people that's working right now can't come to these meetings because they're at 5 o'clock. A lot of people don't get off till 6 o'clock. And that's a bad thing for the people. And I know in my neighborhood, we're having problems with the taxes, for one thing, and it's getting out of hand. A lot of people in my neighborhood are having to move. And there's a lot of people, from what the mayor was telling us at the meeting in, July of this year, said there's 4,000 people that's already left Wyandotte County. I know here recently there's been some more people moving. A lot of people cannot afford this town anymore. and we're not getting any new businesses. We're buying more property. The school is buying a lot of property, and they're not paying any taxes on any of the property they're getting. So that is cutting the base down, the tax base, where us taxpayers have to pick up the paycheck and pay that. Well, the seniors don't have it, the poor don't have it, and now the middle class don't have it. You guys have to take a stand and go revenue neutral. You guys are voted in by the public. Wyandotte County property tax protesters were 1,500 plus strong now. We've got other groups, it's 800, 900, 1,000, 3,000. You guys are voted in by us, these people out here, and you're not listening. We have to get the word out, and you guys have to get the word out to the public and say, hey, enough is enough. And I hope that every one of you, I'll point my finger at each one of you. Do you want to raise our taxes? Do you? Right here at the end. I'm asking a question, yes or no?
Well, right now, I can't respond. I'm supposed to be listening to you.
Okay.
I know you think I'm not.
This is-
We're gonna
this is-
vote at the end, but I am listening.
Okay, yeah, I hear this listening stuff a lot. A lot of people is listening, but nobody's taking any action. We do have some people in this city that do care. And they have voted revenue neutral. And they've even taken some pay cuts. Kansas City, Kansas is one of them. And that is a good thing for the taxpayers because right now, everybody needs it. And the public here is going to be shown what you guys are voting on tonight. And you're going to be paying at the polls when it comes up because people are mad. Some people are losing their houses. You look at that deal that they sent out, Kansas City, Kansas for Wyandotte County, there's 8,000 people that hadn't paid their taxes. Why? Because they don't have the money anymore.
We're
You
at
know as
time.
well as anybody, everything has went up.
Sir, we're
And we
at time.
definitely have to do something. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And if you could, again, just a reminder, if everyone could sign up. And then as a reminder for folks, if you could just state your name when you approach the microphone and you begin speaking. And as a matter of decorum, the board is here to listen and not to respond to questions. At this time, we're here to listen. So thank you, Ms. Page, for responding and reminding us. But thank you for your time today, sir.
Thank you.
If there is anyone else that is speaking tonight, you can come forward.
Good evening, Board. My
Good
name is
evening.
Pamela Penn Hicks, Wyandotte County. I don't have to justify my existence as a concerned citizen. You all know that I have spoken to you before about the issues that have come before this board. The concerns brought before you are real, not fantasy. They're not made up, and they're not conspiracy theories. Our students need to be competitive with their peers. The world is changing in ways that if they are not prepared well, they will find themselves unable to take advantage of opportunities. The concerns we have are focused on preparation, the same concerns that everyone should have that raises children, getting them ready for their lives long term. If we are to produce lifelong learners, then the basic foundational education, the building blocks, must be developed and ingrained in our students. Money is part of the process of building that foundation. Resources are essential to providing the environment for optimum learning. Seeking balance is important too. Revenue neutral is a small ask from this community. Taxes, utility rates, and the cost of living are causing stresses in this community. The other taxing entities are listening. Are you? Vote revenue neutral for the good of this community, and let's focus on the education of our children.
Thank you, Ms. Penn Hicks. Is there anyone else that is speaking? Please approach.
My name is Barbara Tamburo. I've been in Wyandotte County for 28 years. First of all, I'd like to recognize Mr. Lopez as a listener because he came and spoke to a number of us who work at Legends. My concern is that my taxes have gone so high. I still have a mortgage. My house payment just raised over $200 just because of taxes, not counting my insurance that went up. What I'd like to know is why, when I'm in District 202, I'm paying 3 different taxes for $500. My kids can't go to school in $500. My grandchildren couldn't go to school in $500. And I'm still in District 202, but yet I pay taxes for $500 as well. I'd like somebody to answer that for me, why I'm paying that tax.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sandra McGill, and I am here just to make a couple of points and I'm born and raised Wyandotte County all my life. Worked in the school district for 25 years. But my point is that we are so top-heavy. I understand that there is monies needed in these schools. I see it every day, and like she said, these students need to be, raised up above so that they can so they can compete with the others. But I think coming after the taxpayers all the time and time again for everything is just not gonna get it. And I think maybe if we look at top-heavy or other ways of, making this work out, it would work. We don't always have to hit the taxpayers.
Thank you for your time.
Hey there.
Afternoon.
My name's Tony King. I've been in Wyandotte County for about 16 and a half years. First of all, I want to say I appreciate you guys. I know this is a job that takes a lot of your time. So that being said, my taxes went up almost 50% in '23, and I'm still well within my working years. I can choose to live in a lot of different places, but I like Wyandotte County. It's very close to where I work. I love the diversity of the community here. 50% in 1 year is plenty to go a long ways. If it goes up again, I might have to consider moving. Just wanted to give you guys that.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, my name is Joseph Downs. I'm a resident here for all my life, and I'm steady getting bills every year that my taxes going, even the lots. The lots I paid like $60 for a vacant lot. The lot's going up, and it's just agricultural. There's no reason for a lot to go up, but my house payment has gone up double. And the thing that is so doesn't make sense is that y'all cut off when the new taxes come out per quarter. I'm still paying on my back taxes for the past year or so. Now I can't y'all cut that off and make us pay the beginning new taxes. And I'm just about ready to pay off $100 or so left on this. I can't pay this off because y'all won't allow it. So now I'm behind another year, and I'm stuck here where I got to pay now X amount of dollars, half of it, in order to be put on a payment plan. But y'all cut me off here when I could have got rid of that one and still be trying to get ahead. Yeah, like they said, all of us do not have the money, and y'all steady raising. Like my payment, my tax bill for my house this year just on 7th Street. It's an older house, but it's gone up double, and it doesn't make sense. And y'all steady sitting here still looking at us, but y'all steady hitting us because I've been here all my life. And I've been in the structure all my life. My dad was in the structure. So it doesn't make sense for y'all to keep on taxing us and bleeding our money. Y'all just bleeding it. And the city and the game, when you go protest, yeah, it's like a game. You go protest your taxes, they send you a thing back in the mail says it's not qualified. You're still gonna have to pay. You protest the second time, they send you something in the mail after they review it. No, it's not. You didn't get qualified to lower your taxes. Then I go to the meteor. That's the only time I get a chance to be on even ground with the city. Because for the fact that it's like a game, most people don't even go through but 1 and 2. And then they end up paying the tax. They get a more better break when they get the protest the third time to the mediator because he's neutral. But as far for the first and the second one, y'all just automatically tell them no. And most residents here don't go to the third one. So they end up paying the city more money than what they should have paid in the beginning. So all I'm saying to y'all need to quit taxing. All the structure saying, I hear y'all, we're gonna lower the taxes, Ain't nothing lower.
We're at time.
And that's the main thing that I'm just saying, that you need to find and do something and stop taxing us. That's why people leave out our county too.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Evening.
My name is Ruby Bruce. I have been a resident in Kansas City, Kansas for over 50 years. I've been a school nurse in the USD 500 district for over 26 years before I retired. My concern is that I understand the need to have our kids as continual learners throughout their lives. I understand that they need to have very stimulating experiences to improve their minds and continue their growth. My concern is that I retired 20 plus years ago. When I retired, my income was just fine. The increases did not bother me. But when you've been retired for a while, the increases that you get in your pension or Social Security are certainly not as high as what I would get if I had been working on a job that gave you a bonus or an annual income or gave you some breaks. So would you please consider people like me, like your grandparents or great-grandparents, who are still able to stay at home and take care of themselves, but whose income is certainly not as high as it would need to be to pay high taxes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth.
Hi, my name is Prince Campbell, and I come here just to represent my God. And he told me he wants to know, where were you when he laid the foundation of the earth? He wants to know, where were you when he created mankind in his image? Because what we're seeing is colonization here. We're seeing the takeover of seniors' homes, people on a fixed income. And you're squeezing them both ways. If they do improvement on their house, they get up on the taxes. And if they don't do any problem, they're still getting up on their tax. This is colonization. This is all it is. And I just come here to represent him. And this is what he told me to come in here to say today. And it's not going to work.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell.
My name is Shantae Williams. I've been a Wyandotte County resident all my life. I am younger than most of these people that have spoken. I've only owned a home for 3 years, and my taxes have gone up over 50%. That is absolutely ridiculous. I am trying to put myself through college to better my pay just to afford my home. And it's not fair to me. It's not fair to the people around me. Me and my community have established a great relationship, and more than 5 of our neighbors have left within less than a year because of taxes.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Good evening. My name is Vicki Thomas. Now, I got the notice in the mail, and I'm looking at the Unified Government 500 with 3 different taxes, and I do not know what those 3 different segments of taxes are. Now, I have lived in Wyandotte County all my life. The appraiser came out to my house here a couple weeks ago and was valuing my house more at $10,000. Well, I've already paid last year in taxes over $400 more, and I'm trying to figure out where's this going. Yes, my house is paid for, but the taxes are pitiful.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
Hello, y'all. Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for giving us your time, So, born and raised.
Will you please speak in the microphone? Sorry.
Sorry. So, I'm Sheehan Avery. Nice to meet y'all. Born and raised, KCK. I'm a product of USD 500, and so was my child. And it's kind of low-key sad to say that he ain't even being taught what I was being taught back then. Y'all removed cursive, spelling, all of these things. So our children's education is actually getting worse than better, but y'all are wanting us to put into y'all. So what are y'all gonna do for our children? And then not only that, who paid for the DJ that performed at Schlegel High School? Was that our taxes for their welcome back, little thing? Was that our taxes, or did y'all, pitch in, or was it a family friend? I just wanna know who paid for it, because if it's us, then I have a big problem, because my house is paid for too, but our taxes is going up, and it's like, y'all wanna put us out of our home because we were able to pay it off. And I understand, I don't care if it's even, I know like I got $33 or something, like it's broke down, but it's not the amount. It could be 2 cents. It's not the amount, it's just more so about the principle. Like, what are y'all doing to better this district? Because this district is not, it's not safe. And it's off the chain, and I know about it. So, and it ain't changed. So if y'all continue to ask us for our money, I need y'all to do what y'all supposed to do as the board and support our children and further their education. Put spelling back in, put cursive back in. They don't even know how to sign a signature, but y'all want $33. Make it make sense.
Thank you, Ms. Avery. Is there anyone else wishing to speak during the public hearing for revenue neutral? Seeing none, thank you all for, oh, yes, sir, please come forward. I'm sorry, sir.
I know, that's all right. I just got one question. What are y'all gonna do? Y'all say y'all listening, and y'all hear all these folks out here come
Sir.
and bleed, amen, and bleed themselves. I wanna know what's gonna happen. What is your process that y'all gonna take, that you hear all these, your constituents out here? What are y'all, we wanna know, what are y'all gonna do? When you go behind closed doors, then things don't come out for what we up here bleeding for. So I'm
Thank
just
you.
curious to know, what is the process?
Thank you, sir.
You can say those and vote. You can tell them the process when you close it. Yeah. You can just tell them the process.
Thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to speak. And again, if you did speak, please make sure that you signed up in the form so that we have that for our clerk roll. Again, we appreciate your time to be here, to share your thoughts and your questions and comments. And thank you, board, for your time to listen. At this time, it is recommended that the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education approve the resolution to exceed the revenue neutral rate for the 2024-2025 fiscal year as published in the Record News. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there questions or discussion from the board?
I just want to say, the gentleman asked me a question. No, I don't support that, and I understand what you're saying, and you're right. We need to come up with some other things to do to work this out.
I ask everybody, but I appreciate you speaking up.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Other discussion, questions?
Well, I can comment.
Yes, Dr. Nguyen?
I likewise don't support exceeding the revenue neutral. Unless I missed it, I don't believe we were presented with an alternative budget. Now, it has been stated that it would amount to $8 million. We have a very large budget, more than $400 million. So I will not be supporting.
Thank you, Dr. Nguyen. No comments. Ms. Russell?
I am going to say that I am going to support this notion tonight for multiple reasons. While the board was told that it was only $8 million to be removed, as many people know, the biggest part of our budget is staff. It was asked of this board many times, whose department are we going to cut? When we get down to contracts and agreements that this district and this board has already approved, the folks who are impacted most by that $8 million cut would be people who live right here in Wyandotte County. And for that reason, I cannot support this motion. And so when we think about those classified contracts and who we have walking through our doors, those are the people that get impacted by it. So it's our nutritional services, it's our bus drivers, it's our transportation. And so for that reason, I am going to take care of the people that I serve and ensure that they are not impacted by a decision that's being made tonight. I have told this board again, if we can find a way to reduce that in our budget, I would be more than happy to support it, but it would not be my fiduciary responsibility is to ensure that we have a strong district, and that means every part of the engine that goes. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. Additional comments or questions, Dr. Nguyen?
Not to counter, because I don't appreciate the action taken toward me, but we locked in, if I'm not mistaken, any comments I made, I in essence said, let's lock in the salaries. Let's not touch them. So the impact, unless you look to cut, we don't know how it would be impacted. So it could go 50-50, but I'm not going to support exceeding when we did not take pencil to paper and start looking for cuts that would not impact staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, I want to be intentional. That was not, I said the entire board got asked that question and no one gave that feedback. We also heard from our constituents, and I'm not going to go back and forth with you. That's not our intent. Yeah. But I also want to be clear that the constituents also asked for a $2+ million investment in books that we also committed to over multiple years, and that right there is $6 million in the 3-year contract that we agreed to. And so I just want to say there are lots of needs and wants from our constituents, and we have a balancing act, and so it would be irresponsible for us to move forward in another way, unfortunately. Thank you.
And as I say, we're not debating.
We're not
even going to, I'm not going to address anything that you said because we can always find other data.
Mr. Milan?
I am in compliance to vote no on this to exceed. Due to all what's gathered here with the information where we are in life in this area where I'm going to use a lot of rhetoric, that's how I see it.
Thank you, Mr. Milan. Additional.
Repeat yourself, I didn't hear you back.
No, not to exceed.
Additional questions or comments? Thank you.
Revenue neutral.
Thank you, Mr. Mylan. Additional
You
questions?
get it back there? I don't know how well my mic is. Okay?
And then I just wanted to also say, we're all aware that the UG voted no not to exceed the neutral rate. The
Right.
college voted not to exceed the neutral rate. And we do have to consider, people are struggling. I'm struggling, I'm sitting up here, I gotta pay my taxes too.
Right.
So we gotta feel it. And I hear what you're saying, but this past year or 2 years, it's been going up like crazy. If you own property, it's hard to say, wow, what's going on? And it's not that people don't care about education. I need to say that over and over again. They do care, but they're trying to survive. And we have to take that in consideration. They're struggling, they're trying to make ends meet, and they do care.
Man.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Yes, Mr. Mylan?
Let me back up a little bit as well for clarity for myself. And I know and I appreciate all of you have expressed interest. I do, the board does, but this is me personally. And I'm going to say this because it involves all of us when we talk about taxing and increase in a collective way. It affects all of us. But I don't want you all to feel, and this area to feel, to blame 500 for everything that's rising in this city. We're not BPU, we're not unified government, we're USD 500. We have to do it the best we can to make sure, as many of us have stated, that education is done the best we can with the funds and the revenue that we have. They're doing our best. But we should not be, and I want us not to say this, all of you collectively, all this here tonight, and the whole city is blaming us for the increase in taxes and mortgages and all that. That's not us. But what we can do to do the best we can to have another venue avenue to get use the best resources that are available to us to not allow folks that are affecting Wyandotte County, because folks in Wyandotte County, what's saying no, it's just not, that's a good thing. It's a good thing in a way, but for some people, it's not a good thing. Because the people in Wyandotte County, District 500, are going to lose their jobs and be on a lower scale as well. That's what I'm going to say right there.
Thank you, Mr. Mylan. And I would just also echo Mr. Mylan in terms of, again, and I know we've talked about this and as a board, we are one of the taxing entities. Property assessments or property appraisals come from the Unified Government County Assessor's Office. We have nothing to do, the school district, the school board has nothing to do with your assessed valuation of your home, which is how your property taxes are configured, right? It's around the assessed valuation of your home. And District 500 and to Mr. Mylan's point, District 500 and the school board have nothing to do with assessed valuation of people's property and people's homes. So we don't control that. Additionally, we have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to make the best decisions for our students, for our children, to do what's best for the kids in this district. And I don't know that going revenue neutral at this point, this late in the game, is being responsible for the kids because of the cuts that we would have to make, the services, programs, and staff that potentially we would lose, as Ms. Russell said, this late in the game, trying to figure that out. So I have a responsibility to the students in this district as well. And that's where my heart and my vote comes from, is for the students in this district. I empathize, and I know it is hard, and taxes continue to increase, but again, we don't control property values. We don't control property assessments here at the district. So I think it's important to remember that. We also get state aid from part of that. So we also get state aid from our from the taxes that are assessed, and we would be losing on those state dollars that help fund our district. So I think that's another important point. This board was asked earlier in the budget process whether we wanted to cut any mills or lower the mills, and the board collectively did not say that we wanted to look at a budget that decreased the mills for this year. So we moved forward, putting together a budget after that conversation based on that conversation, I think right now it's late in the game to make a different choice that's going to impact people's lives, people's jobs, and programs and services to our students. At the end of the day, I totally get it, and I appreciate all of you coming out and being here and sharing your truth and what's important. I appreciate it. But I also have to do what's best. I also have to do what's best for our students, and that's where my decision is coming from tonight.
Mr. Lopez,
Ms. Page.
do you live in Wyandotte County?
I do live in Wyandotte County, but Ms. Page.
I just wanted to say, you said we voted that. It wasn't all 7 of us. I want the record to be clear. I voted against that, and I think I've been consistent on that. Because it's not fair. If over 80% of our kids are getting free lunches and what have you, that speaks volumes there, that people are struggling. And they're trying to pay this. They want it to work. So I just think we need to be careful. It's not their fault. They got sense enough to know that we don't handle, but they also get their statements, and they're out there in that audience and holding them. And it says how much goes to the school district, how much came from this and that went, and what went up. That's what they see, and that's what they're focusing on. And that's what they know they gotta pay.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Additional comments or questions from the board? Seeing and hearing none, Ms. Smith, we're going to go ahead and take a roll call vote. Again, the motion on the floor is that the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education approve the resolution to exceed the revenue neutral rate for the 2024-2025 fiscal year as published in the Record News.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Marlin Jr.,
Junior, no.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, no.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, no.
Thank you.
The motion carries. Thank you. Now entertain a motion that the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education close the public hearing to exceed revenue neutral rate.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark,
Can we order, please? Thank you. Can we please have,
Y'all don't have to pay. As long as y'all working and getting this money, y'all don't have to wait till you retire.
can we please have maintain order?
And I know you know me from when I was a little kid. So I don't want to hear that you know me.
Can we please maintain order, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Smith, roll call, please. Yes, roll call,
Yolanda
please.
Clark,
Can we repeat what we're voting on? I'm
To
sorry.
close, this is to close the hearing.
Okay, Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Marlin Jr.,
Marlin Junior, yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now to entertain a motion, the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education open the public hearing for the 2024-2025 budget.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes.
Robert Marlin Jr.,
Marlin Junior, yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, no.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now in the public hearing for the 2024-2025 budget. Again, as a reminder, anyone is welcome to give comment. Please come forward to the microphone. State your name. Your 3 minutes will start after you give your name. And then once you're done, please make sure that you sign up at the table next to Dr. Laurie so we have a record of those who spoke. So I will open the floor. And again, the board, this is a time where the board will listen and not interact or answer questions, just as a reminder. So I'd invite anyone that would like to speak on the budget to please come forward.
Pamela Penn Hicks, Wyandotte County. It's somewhat disingenuous for you to tell the community that you have nothing to do with property values because you don't technically, but you benefit majorly from them. The property valuations that went up this year created a nice windfall for USD 500, 16.73%. That's going to come from these people who are sitting in this audience. Every year since 2017, with your no tax increase bond, your values have gone up. Property values are going to go up. You're going to get more money. So it would behoove this committee, this board, to understand that we do look at all of the revenue streams. We know that the state has not cut your money. We know that you'll get more from the local community. You know that you get money for special needs and for other issues that our children might have, free lunches and so forth and so on. Finding economies within your budget was very important. Not to touch the staff necessarily, although some salaries on the administrative side are quite high. And I understand that people are asking for even more money without a commensurate increase in our children's academic performance. Too many of our children are walking across that stage, even with diploma pluses, without being able to read and do basic math. Our community is suffering greatly right at this moment. You all are not the only ones who are creating that kind of stress, but you had the opportunity tonight to demonstrate to this community that you heard, that you understood, that you were willing to make the requisite cuts in order to find the economies of scale that would help to reduce exceeding the revenue neutral. And you failed to do so. So you have left not only a bad taste in people's mouth, but a really dramatic understanding that your failure to care and have compassion for this community is evident. And I want you to know that we will take action as we can to make sure that we will never have to go through this again. This community deserves better from you. You all are elected by us, and by the same token, our vote does matter.
Thank you, Ms. Pam Hicks. Additional comments?
My name's Scott Harding, Wyandotte County. You guys have really disappointed me. You've disappointed a lot of people on Zoom and people that's not here, the people that can't get on Zoom and things like that. You guys that voted yes are a disappointment to Wyandotte County. I hope that everybody that voted yes on this issue gets voted out. And if it's up to me and everybody in this room that has anything to do with revenue neutral or wanted revenue neutral and tax relief, I hope they vote you out. And the thing of it is, we need to think about this budget. You guys that say, oh, it's for the kids. Well, I don't believe that. You look at your rating of all your schools, and 500, they're C, D's, E's, and F's. So don't tell me it's about the kids. It's about buying property here, there, and everywhere else, and we're not educating the kids like we should. Not me. You guys are in control of that. The teachers are in control of that. You guys tell the teachers what the hell to do, basically, or somebody does, and they have to teach that, but they're not teaching the correct things. And I believe you guys need to start. You know, there's ways of doing it. And you guys aren't completing your task. And I wish you guys would think about making some cuts in your budget. You say, well, we're going to use 23 budget or whatever, or 22 budget on the things that's on the screen. Well, that stuff don't work. When I look at stuff, it's facts. It's actually numbers. You guys are pulling numbers out of the air, and you got a lot of money that you could be using, and you're not. You just want more. You got your hand out all the time, just like every one of these entities. And we do have a lot of them revenue neutral. And some of them are actually trying. They're trying to do their job. That's what you guys were here to do, and you didn't do it, as far as we're concerned. And I'm going to put the video on. I'm trying to get the video from the news channels and things like that, and I'm going to try to get it out there, publicize exactly what you guys are doing. That's my goal. It's not for me. It's for the seniors, the poor, and the middle class that can't take it no more, and the people that can't show up. And I know they're mad because they can't, because they gotta work. They've gotta work to pay their bills. And you guys make a hell of a lot more money than they do. They can't afford what you guys can afford. And I wish you guys would have looked at it, but you don't. And you don't care. She's over there laughing. That girl's laughing. That's not a funny matter. None of this is a funny matter. I've seen this happen many times, sitting there laughing.
Sir, we're at time. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay, but it's not funny.
Is there any other comment on the budget?
Can I make a comment?
Ms.
I
Russell?
just want to say, for a elected office position that I don't get paid for, you're right. I work my butt off for nothing, for zero. It doesn't pay my rent. It doesn't pay my utilities. It doesn't pay any of my bills. So I'm laughing because that's disrespectful. In my generation, we call that disrespectful. So I will proudly go back to the job that pays my bills and continue to work on behalf of this community. Please remember, we are elected officials, but we are the only elected officials in this community that don't get paid to do this job. So I am respectful to every person I interact with, whether I agree or disagree, but I don't deserve to be treated like crap. And so that's why I'm laughing. I'm laughing to stop from crying because it's unfortunate that we have to put up with it.
Before I came here, I went in and I just read a few things about the District 500 and the government. And I noticed they have a program out for anybody that makes development in this community. So these developers get 10%, 10 years tax break, 5 years tax break, 3 years tax breaks, and where the ordinary citizen here is getting no kind of tax break. So this, to me, is all about the money. It's not, it's all about real estate, buying up real estate. And when you drive through Wyandotte County, you see a lot of empty houses. They're not occupied by the people that used to be there. They're not occupied by the people that used to be there. They're just, and you get real estate people hogging you to buy your homes. And when I go in, and this group, you guys are helping them. That's all you're doing. When I go into the bank, I don't see these people out here looking for a loan. I see a lot of foreign people in there looking for loans. So when I say this is a demographic change in this community, it's evidence when you drive through this community, you see it. You actually see it. The demographic people that's been pushed out and squeezed out. And that's what you're doing.
Thank you. Additional comments? Not, Mr. Mylan?
Let me inject here. You know, everything doesn't go how we want to see it, and I'll be brief. As Ms. Russell just stated, we don't get salary for what we do. I'm not speaking for the whole board, of course, but I'm speaking from where I stand and being part of this board. I enjoy working with. I want us to leave here tonight, and we have our own feelings and our own personalities, but not leaving here with the taste. We live in a democracy. What might be good for you might not be good for this person, vice versa. But here's my point. For us to leave here tonight not feeling that this board does not have compassion, we don't care, we're not humbled, we don't give a darn, whatever adjective or adverb you want to use to describe that is not true. That is not true. We work hard, and it's difficult. This is a difficult task. I've been here for 9 months. It's difficult. It can be difficult in making decisions to try to please everyone. We're in a district that's diverse, changes rapidly. With saying that, we have compassion, we're humbled, and when we come out behind closed doors and discuss things, we're doing it for the betterment, not for us, but the community, totality as well. And it might not come out like we or you want it to come out, but we are compassionate, we're humble, and we do care. And we might not agree on everything. We have families. You don't agree with everything in your own family. Spouses that are married, children that are married. I'm going to just leave it right there, but we do the best we can with what we have to work with in this community where things are on the rise. And we shouldn't get blamed for all the taxes and everything, but we're doing the best we can for our students, the children, and the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mylan. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing for the 2024-2025 budget.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion?
I think the only thing I would add to that is there were a few comments around being residents of Wyandotte County, and I am a resident of Wyandotte County. I have a student that attends this school district. I pay taxes in Wyandotte County. I own a home in Wyandotte County. So if you want to talk about skin in the game, I have skin in the game. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Additional questions or comments? Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Allen Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, no.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you.
Is there a motion? It's recommended that the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education approve the budget for the 2024-2025 school year as submitted by Tracy Kaiser, Mr. Lilly, and is recommended by Dr. Anna Stubblefield. I'm sorry, let me reread that. Recommended the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education approve the 2024-2025 USD 500 budget with a $3,851,000 transfer from the contingency reserve to the supplemental general fund based on the findings presented in the building's needs assessment, state assessment review, and discussions among the Board of Education, including the academic data and progress of each building, district curriculum, staffing needs, as well as other important items that are critical to the success of our students, as submitted by Ms. Kaiser, Mr. Lilly, and is recommended by Dr. Stubblefield.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion?
Okay, now, you read something at the end. I just want to make sure I understand it. Now, you're going to take $180 million from the contingency fund?
It's a $3,851,000 transfer from contingency reserve to the general fund.
And how much is in the contingency fund right now?
Ms. Kaiser is coming forward to explain that component of it.
Yes, good evening. That's what we've done the last few years. It's to help control the mill levy in the supplemental general fund. So it's a transfer in and out. It does not impact the amount we have in the contingency reserve. It just helps with the mill levy and supplemental general.
Okay, but how much do we have? You didn't answer my question.
17 million.
Additional questions?
Question.
Yes, I'm sorry, Dr. Nguyen.
So help me understand what you just said. You've transferred in, but it does not impact what?
We transfer it into supplemental general and then to control the mill levy, and then we put it back into contingency reserve, so it does not impact the balance.
So you're doing an accounting move?
Right, strategic plan, we've been doing that the last 4 or 5 years.
Right, I understand that, but the public doesn't understand that you transfer money in, establish your mill levy, then you transfer it back out.
Right, it
Am I
helps
correct?
lower the mill levy, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions?
So I just want to clarify, because I think I'm also confused again, and I believe that we have been at this place before. So this is a transactional accounting thing. And so you're saying, as Ms. Page answered, there is $17 million currently in that fund.
Correct.
So at the end of the school year, there will still remain $17 million if this is a clean transfer, as you're saying.
Correct, unless the board would take action throughout the year to change that.
Additional questions? Okay, seeing none. Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Allen Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, no.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, no.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next agenda on the item board, it is recommended the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education approve the resolution to adopt the LOB percentage and an amount of 33% for the 2024-2025 school year as submitted by Ms. Kaiser, Mr. Lilly, and Dr. Stubblefield.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion?
Question.
Yes, Dr. Nguyen?
Does this resolution have to be passed every, I guess, should I ask you, or
It has to be passed annually.
annually? Okay?
Thank you. Additional questions? Seeing none. Ms. Clark, I'm sorry. No, okay. Seeing no additional questions, Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Allen Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, no.
Rachel Russell.
I feel like I still have a question, and I'm trying to figure out my question. So this document was not previously last year on this meeting hearing. So are we just saying moving forward, this is a document? I'm struggling just a little bit of where this document came from.
It was on last year's budget as well. It is something that has to be approved annually by the board.
So, thank you, Ms. Kaiser. So we've called the vote, so I'm sorry, we're going to have to continue with the roll call vote.
I'm sorry.
Rachel Russell, no.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, no.
Motion carries. Thank you. We'll continue with our agenda board. Next, agenda item 3. There are no community comments signed up for tonight. Again, anyone is welcome. Please sign up noon the Monday before the board meeting with our board clerk to give comment. Next, I'd entertain a motion that to recess to executive session for consultation with the attorney on matters which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship under COMA, going in at 6:05 for 10 minutes, and to include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Dr. Campbell, Dr. Jones, and Ms. Carol Evers.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion? Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Allen Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you. there a second? Moved by Ms. Russell, seconded by Mr. Mylan. Questions? Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark. Maxine Drew. Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Junior, yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page. Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to extend executive session for 7 minutes? Moved by Ms. Clark, seconded by Ms. Russell. Questions? Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark. Maxine Drew. Randy Lopez.
Yes.
Robert Mylan Jr. Wanda Brownlee Page. Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to return to open session, please.
So moved.
Second, sorry.
Moved and seconded. Questions? Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes.
Robert Marlin Jr.,
Allen Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page, Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen. Thank you.
Board, next agenda item 5. Is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes.
Robert Marlin Jr.,
Allen Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page, Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen. Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Agenda item 6 is up next. These are updates and approvals. These have come before the board at least once. It's recommended the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education approve the contract with Funds for Learning LLC for the 24-25 fiscal year in the amount of $28,500 for provision of E-rate consulting services to be funded from the TIS operations budget as submitted by Mr. Hoda, Mr. Lilly, and is recommended by Dr. Anna Stubblefield.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions or discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page, Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen. Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Next agenda item 7. Board, these are not items that are being recommended for any action tonight. These are informational items. If there are any questions, you may ask tonight, but you also have opportunities to continue to ask for in the future. They may or may not come back at a future meeting for action, but for tonight, they are here for information only. The first item is an informational item on solicitation of bids for upgrades for Wyandotte High School in accordance with requirements of Board Policy DJED. Are there any questions on this item? Hearing none. Next item is an informational item regarding Ignite Reading Platform intervention for first and second grade students at Banneker, Grant, Silver City, and Emerson Elementary. Via a grant that's being provided by the Hall Family Foundation and in partnership with our KCK Foundation of Excellence. Any questions on this item? Okay, hearing none, we'll move forward. Please, as you review that information, if there are questions, please submit those to Dr. Stubblefield and we will make sure to get those answered. Next agenda item, Board, we are at Board item number 8, our policies. These are coming back before us. We are at second read for policy GAOE. Mr. Goheen.
No proposed modifications or changes from the first read, so this one's ready for approval for second read.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve for second read, policy GAOE. Any questions or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Ms. Smith.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Marlin Jr.,
Allen Jr., yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board item 8B, recommended to accept for third read, KASB recommended policies listed before you. Mr. Goheen.
Similar to the policy GAOE, there have been no proposed further revisions to these policies for third read, so I would ask for recommend approval, rather.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion on these policies for third read? Seeing and hearing none, Ms. Smith.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes.
Robert Marlin Jr.,
Robert Marlin Jr., yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next, we will hear from our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Anna Stubblefield.
Good evening, everyone. I just have a few quick announcements, but I did want to, for the board who's here, to introduce our interim chief, Herrick, if you can wave. He's the interim chief of police, so he may be reaching out to you, or if you see him, I just wanted you to put a face with a name. But I will start by saying there have been several concerning social media posts involving threats directed at Eisenhower Middle School over the past few days. Please be assured that any threats, whether deemed credible or not, are taken seriously and will not be tolerated. Our KCKPS Police Department has investigated the threats and have identified individuals who are associated with the threats, and appropriate action has been taken. We encourage all parents to discuss with their children the importance of appropriate conduct and responsible behavior, both online and school, and we'll continue to provide the supports and the necessary structures for our students in order for our schools to be safe. I'm so proud to announce the opening of the Replay Learn Space right here at Central Office today in our Welcome Center. We held a ribbon cutting ceremony. The new Welcome Center location offers students access to help yourself, book stands, tables, chairs, and stand-up magnets, as well as books that they can select and take home after they are there. We see lots of children throughout the year, and so I'm just very proud that that our Welcome Center and our Early Childhood Department and our Diploma Plus Department have worked to collaborate to create this space. And the overall goal of the Replay Learning Initiative is to increase literacy access in the greater Kansas City, Kansas community. This is our 4th location. We're in 2 laundromats as well as the WIC office, and we have a lead on a couple of more locations, so we're looking forward to some more ribbon cuttings. This is Attendance Awareness Month. At KCKPS, we believe that we are better when you're here. Did you know that daily attendance help your young students form reading, math, and social skills? Just remember, the opportunities are endless when you're at school. So support our students, and this month and every month, but this is Attendance Awareness Month. We had a great time participating in the annual Central Avenue Diversity Parade this weekend. I want to give a big shout out to all of our high school band members and drill teams. They played for almost an hour in the Battle of the Bands after that. And it was fun to be there with them and also the community. And thank you to all the staff and board members who were able to participate. This is just a reminder to join KCKPS and RevEd for 3 upcoming computer literacy courses during the month of September. The courses help close the digital divide between school systems and our parents and families. All materials for the class will be provided. Please register. You must register to attend so that we can make sure we have the appropriate materials. The dates are September 14th, 21st, and 28th, and it's here at Central Office from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. For information or to register, please go to kckschools.org. I also had the pleasure of visiting the soft opening of the RevEd's new facility. It was a great time to collaborate with a partner who's working to make sure that our students have access and support as needed. And that's all that oh, one more thing. We are hosting a Bond Community Information Meeting at Sumner Academy on Monday, September 23rd from 6 to 7:30 p.m. We will provide a meal prior to the start of the information. And we also have created an information page on our website at kckschools.org, and we'll continue to share information out. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stubblefield. Again, I'll be brief. Thank you, board members, for your continued engagement in community. Many of you have been all over the community, continue to be all over the community in your own capacities of service, whether it's your work, volunteer, church, and or other. I just love seeing you out, whether it's on social media and in other spaces or running into you at the Dotversity event. So just thank you for your continued service and for what you give, your time and your effort, your commitment. I really just appreciate each one of you. I had the opportunity to go to Rosedale's 100th anniversary celebration of the Rosedale Arch. It was a great event, and it was a great turnout. Principal Helm got to share some words about Rosedale Middle, and we had the Rosedale High School Association. The last graduating class, I think, was 1973. Their association was there just giving information, and it was great to see their continued engagement out there, and so kudos to everyone who helped plan that and participate and engage. Great turnout, great event. And I know this month there are a ton of events that are happening in our community, so football games and soccer games, and so thank you in advance to our board and our staff and to all of our families who participate. It makes a difference when we're there, when you're there, when our families and students are there to support their peers, so thank you to everybody for that. And then I'll end with just saying, I appreciate Mr. Mylands when you shared about just how diverse our community is. I think it is important to appreciate, and I think it's a beautiful thing, that we have such a diverse community. We're one of the top 5 most diverse communities and counties in the country. And I think that's such a positive thing, and I think it's such a beautiful thing that we have that. And when 60% or more of our students identify as Hispanic, Latino, and we continue to see changing demographics, I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that as a very positive for our community. And so I just wanted to say, I appreciate that this district and this board values diversity in thought and who we are and how we show up, and in every which way. I really do appreciate that we support that because it means something to those students who come into our schools every day. So I just wanted to say that because oftentimes, especially in society, and that doesn't always happen. But I appreciate everyone who's welcoming and who appreciates and supports diversity of thought and diversity in how we show up. And the diversity of this community, it is a positive, and it is an opportunity, and it is a great thing, not just for this district, for this county, for this community, and for this country. So with that, I'll open up for any other board members who want to share. Okay. Thank you, board. So with that, we are at agenda item number 10. We're going to flip a couple of, Ms. Smith, we're going to flip a couple of these executive sessions. We're going to go to executive session C first, just FYI. So I'd entertain a motion to recess to executive session for consultation with the attorney on matters which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship under COMA with potential action to follow, going in at 6:45 for 5 minutes to include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Mr. Lilly, Dr. Campbell, and Dr. Jones.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes?
Robert Mylan Jr.
Mylan Jr., yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff, with the exception, that's not going into executive session, you're free to go with the exception of Doug Clemens. You need to stick around. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to return to open session, please. Is there a motion to return to open session? Moved by Ms. Drew, seconded by Mr. Mylan. Questions? Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark. Maxine Drew.
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Andy, yes?
Robert Mylan Jr. Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Smith, we're going to go to D now. So 10D, is there a motion to recess to executive session to discuss matters of non-elected personnel in order to protect privacy interests of parties involved under coma for, say, 5 minutes, 7 minutes?
Yeah.
For 5 minutes, going in at 6:56.
So moved. Second.
Moved, and to include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Dr. Jones, Dr.
Randy, I just want to make sure you all can hear me.
and Mr. Lilly. It's been moved and seconded.
Okay.
Yes, Yolanda, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Clark, there's a motion in a second to recess to executive session. So Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark. Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew. Randy Lopez.
Andy, yes?
Robert Mylan Jr. Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
return to open session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? Moved by Ms. Russell, seconded by Ms. Drew. Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes.
Robert Ryland Jr.,
Ryland Jr., yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Smith, we're going to go to B, 10B. Is there a motion to recess to executive session for consultation with the attorney on matters which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship under coma for 5 minutes, going in at 7:02, to include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Dr. Jones, Dr. Campbell, and Mr. Lilly?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Russell, seconded by Ms. Drew. Questions? Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark. Maxine Drew.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Clark. Maxine Drew,
Yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Ryland Jr., yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. ready to come back?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to return to open session?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Russell, seconded by Ms. Drew. Questions? Ms. Smith, roll call.
Yolanda Clark. Maxine Drew. Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes?
Robert Marlin Jr. Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we are at 10A, motion to recess to executive session for consultation with the attorney on matters which would be deemed privileged and the attorney-client relationship under coma for 7 minutes to include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Dr. Jones, Dr. Campbell, Mr. Lilly, and Mr. Clements.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Drew, seconded by Ms. Russell. Questions? Ms. Smith.
Maxine Drew. Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes?
Robert Marlin Jr. Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to return to open session.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Ms. Smith?
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes?
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Marlon Jr., yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board, is there a motion to approve the determination that there has not been a breach of the negotiated agreement? Is that correct, Mr. Goheen? From the hearing?
The hearing officer's determination.
Is there a motion to approve the hearing officer's determination that there has not been a breach of the negotiated agreement?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Smith?
Maxine Drew,
Maxine Drew, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes?
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Marlon Jr., yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, board, thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Great meeting. Thank you, staff. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Have a good night.